In older versions of Visual Studio, if you went to debug and said start debugging, debugging means using debugging environment where you have a lot of control over the execution of the program. For instance, you can stop in the middle of the execution and take a look at what's happening inside the program and things like this. Right. So if I say start without debugging, you can see that my console window opens and it actually stays open. But in older version of Windows, this console window would automatically close and it was major inconvenience. So the question was, how would you keep the window open? You can see that in our handout, the textbook recommends that you can do this. You can recognize that this is probably another function because it's also using parentheses in its name, but it's an example of a function call, right? So apparently this standard library facilities header file, which we downloaded, which comes with a lot of code, right? We can probably try to take a look at this. We can say go to document and see how it didn't want to open it. I don't know why. That's strange. Go to document. Not found. Okay. I don't know why it doesn't want to open it automatically, but I'll give you a demonstration. So here, if I go back to our source file subfolder, right, go to source, you see how I'm displaying our source files, the main CVP and the file that we downloaded. From here, you can just basically drag and drop it into the bar over here, like a title bar, and drop it and see it gets opened. Okay, so that's a sure way to open it and see there's lots of things. But if we're searching for keep the window open, sure enough, it's in here in this file. Okay, so I'm just going to close all of this. Close this like that, and close this file just to show you. But just to demonstrate that this is a function call, keep window open. So let's try building this. Okay, so if you want to make a pause in the middle of your program, you can do that. So if I run this program, unfortunately the console window is not recorded by our recording that we're going to post online, but you can see that it says please enter a character to exit. I say exit, right, and it lets me through. So this is something that you can use inside your program. If you want to temporarily comment something out, you can do this, right? Just simply say, okay, I temporarily don't want to delete it, but to comment it out. And alternatively, if you don't want to rely on this header for a very long time, and instead, relying on keep window open, there's more or less standard way of doing this by saying system pause. Okay, system pause, and this is another function call, and system is a standard library call to pass a command window command to the operating system to execute right in the middle of execution of our program. So what happens is that our program will start print hello and then call system, the operating system, and tell the operating system, could you please execute this command for me? Okay, so if I first of all, I just want to tell you that again, to be able to use something that comes from standard library, you need to include the correct header. In our case, it would be include cstdlib. Okay, don't ask me why these strange names. You just get used to them in the future. But this is an alternative to pause the execution. Let me build this. and when I run it, you see that this time the standard behavior of pause is to say press any key to continue. Okay, so I press any key to continue, it exits, tells me the exit code was 0, everything is okay, and I close. In Linux environment, the corresponding command, if this wasn't Windows, unfortunately you have to change the command, and you would say read with the prompt press any key or something like this, right? So this would be in Linux environment or Unix environment in general. You would use the read command and you can specify what it should prompt, and this is what it would prompt. Okay, so but in our case it's just the pause that we want to use on Windows. Okay, sometimes you may want to say something like this as well. You can use something like, say, define pause like that, and use we can say command pause or something like that. Okay, and define it early on and then use it elsewhere like this. Okay, so that's probably more professionally written code, just to let you know. So this way, if I move from Windows to Unix, I simply can redefine it as read -p press any key, right? And I can even do more automation to choose between the two systems and switch between the Windows version of pause and the Unix version of pause like this, and then I don't have to change it right here. This is called preprocessor defines, so that's a possibility. I'm just showing you, like, you know, what the possibilities are, so when you read the book you already have all of this information available to you.